Before we get to finding out how to balance text messages from your person without pushing, we want to first invite you to join our Twin Flame coaching program, Soul's Plan. Soul's Plan not only teaches you how to detox and surrender in this journey, but you can also get step-by-step guidance on how to balance your person back in when they come. Nobody teaches this. I'm telling you, there is no other program out there for the Twin Flame connection like Soul's Plan. Now back to our video.
Hello, my lovelies. So we're bringing you guys out in the outdoors today. Taking in Elizabeth's farm and these beautiful garden views. Look at this. All right, my dear. Let's get started. We have a bunch of questions. Okay, first question. My twin said he had many problems and texted them to me many times. When I asked what they were, he pulled. How is it even possible to talk things out on this journey? Oh my gosh, this is such a good question. Okay, so before, when I would get a text and it would be like something like that, I would have a million questions from mind. I wouldn't necessarily like ask it, but mind is like, oh my gosh, I hope they're okay, right? And so I don't care anymore. I was just telling Elizabeth, I got an I love you and I'm in Zen mode, but I'm also in a really freaking romantic ass place. And so I got I love you, and I had to hone that shit in. The old me would have been all gushy and shit. And I just sent a heart. Like, this is not a journey of romanticization, right? Like, it comes to you because you're in soul and it's in presence. And so when they sent the message, it's your energy. You were probably in soul mode. They are having a hard time because they still have their 3D life. You ask them why, and it makes them probably pull right away because asking is from mind. So you want to just allow them to lead the conversation. Like, just because he's sending me I love you doesn't mean I have to say I love you back. Even though I want to say it sometimes, it doesn't mean I owe it to them just because they're saying it to me too. It's when I am soul inspired. And that's when I have to hone in my energy, right? Like, that's so backwards from what we were taught, is when someone says, I love you, you have to say, I love you back. You have to, right? That's conditional love. I am soul. They are my soul. And so when I feel the love, I will send it. I used to say it all the time that it became almost meaningless. And now I don't send that stuff. I let them lead the way, and maybe I will send it back. Maybe I won't. Like I said, today is not one of those days that I want to send it back because I know the mind wants to get excited, right? Wants to take a screenshot of it and look at it all day. We have a client that went soul mode. And they got a message, something very sweet from their other self. And I love how she went straight to us and was like, what do I do with this? I haven't responded, and maybe I will later when I feel like I'm in a place of peace, right? That's some spiritual badass stuff, my love. That's how you run this connection. This is soul work. Soul work is running it through your energy and not trying to go through it through conditional mind energy. I'm going to get to it whenever I feel like, even though the mind's like, oh, a text. I've been waiting forever for this conversation, and they're sending me all this energy of love and attention. She's like, I haven't responded. Let me know what you guys think. I'm not really in any rush, right? Oof. That's some spiritual badass stuff. So yeah, you get a message, feel like responding, you do. Don't ask questions. Just be in it. They're having a hard time. I'm sorry to hear that. Be present in the message. Right? I'm sorry to hear that. Let me know if you need anything. It's not a question. It's being present with the issue. You can't ignore it, but you also can't read into it too much. They message you because you were in soul
and they need you to stay in soul when you respond back. So it's not a sense of, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I need to respond back. I need to know what's wrong. I hope they're okay, right? That's the mind. It's like, oh, okay. I hope everything's working out, right? I send you, good energy. Some people say like, I'll pray for you, or I'm here for you, whatever way that it makes sense for you to send love without pushing and not figuring out through mind. Because it's actually better to not even respond. I know that's so weird to not respond, right? Like someone's saying they're having a hard time. But if you feel like, why? Are you okay? Oh my gosh. You can't have that. So you can respond in a way where you don't need a response after you send it. Like, I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm here if you need anything. Very chill. And it's a being in that. That's you choosing that. I know the mind is like, oh my gosh, they're having a hard time. I need to figure out why and how can I help them, and I want to figure this out. There's nothing for the mind to figure out. Let them lead the way, and they'll share more. I'm sure you'll learn more as you continue to be.
So the first thing I want the person who asked this question, I want them to try to think about the energy they were in when they asked what the problems were. Because I'm going to put myself in my own head of what I would have done. If my person would have texted me that something was wrong, my mind would have created a story that, ooh, now's the time I can save them, and I'm going to save them, and they're going to come back to me. There was a lot of expectation in the wanting to help them in their problems. And that's what mind does. Mind starts creating all these stories about not necessarily even what the situation is, but how you can be there for them so that suddenly you can be the spotlight in their life again. You can be a hero and be able to help them, because we have this natural inclination to want to save our people when they have issues, right? Like we'll stop anything and everything to save our person. And that's all push. So if your person's texting you like, gosh, I'm having a lot of issues, where was your mind at? Where was your energy at? Because I'm going to guarantee you, if your energy was in a place of desire, neediness, any kind of the thing, expectation, preference, that's why they won't answer. That's why they pulled as soon as you asked about it. So I know for myself, whenever my person brings up issues now, I let him just lead the conversation. If he says something's wrong, I just say, I'm sorry to hear that. Exactly what you were saying, Joanne. I'm sorry to hear that. And then he wants to continue talking. I allow him. But it's very rare to ask him all the time, what happened? What happened? What happened? Because I want to, but it's because my energy is automatically in push mode when I start thinking that way. So instead, I wait for him to tell me. Either way, I'm not pushing if I don't ask that extra step. If he just knows, I'm sorry to hear that, I hope you're okay, it's not pushing, and it allows him the space to come to me if he wants to discuss it. So it's really important. Questions are from mind, and the reason they're from mind is because usually there's that energy behind it. Because remember, soul doesn't care. Soul doesn't care. It sees it as irrelevant. Whatever reason that they're upset about, it's all so it's irrelevant. That it doesn't care. So if you're lying to soul, you're sort of still watching the observer, and you don't care. That sort of soul almost makes you less empathetic, right? Because soul doesn't care.
It's funny too, when you were saying like, how do you even have a normal conversation? To be honest with you, there's not a lot of normal conversations. Our conversations are very like present. We're being. We don't even need to talk. It's pure silence sometimes, and I'm okay with that. Words are so.
There's a lot of silence.
It's a lot of just enjoying our presence with each other. So sometimes just being next to each other and present with each other is more than enough than any words that can ever be said or asked. Because you already know the answer. You have this intuitive knowing, right? You, in your shared soul space, going within, I don't ever have to ask him questions because I kind of already feel, I have this intuitive feeling that they're okay. It might look like the 3D might be cray and maybe they want to share it, but that sharing has to be consistent in their choice. You know, it's not up to us to try to seek the answers and like it's our job to try to solve them and figure them out. Just be with whatever they share or bring to you. It's always in the presence, in the moment that you're experiencing them together. All right, my love, let's go on to the next one.
Okay, let's go to the last one.